I pulled out another one of the quotes he said on the podcast. Sheldon Johnson on Jerry, he said, "I said to myself, I've been doing bad for so long. I'm going to try to do something good. If all else fails, I could always go back to doing something bad. But let me try to do something good. Let me give it a shot." And like, he was in jail for 25 years. And after 9 months, he was like, that's long enough. I gave it a shot.
So, welcome to Breaking Takes.
Welcome to Breaking Takes.
Happy to be here.
I'm so excited to be getting into the shit that we're gonna get into today, because one of the stories does involve a huge idol of mine.
Oh, okay.
And it's a murder case. Just a little teaser. Yeah.
I'm trying to jot my mind of who that could be.
It's either, well, I won't spoil the surprise. But while you guys are thinking about murder and contemplating which idol of mine I've talked about in the past is possibly involved with this homicide case, you guys can rate us and subscribe to Breaking Takes Premium on breakingtakes.supercast.com for bonus episodes. Rate us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Leave a comment. It all helps us boost our visibility for the episodes. And it also supports the pod and supports me and Sam. So we appreciate you getting out there. We need a lot of support. I need emotional support, mental support.
Financial.
Yeah.
Big, heavy on the financial.
Sometimes physical support too, when it's winter and I'm drinking extra heavily and my tits start to sag. I could use like some physical bra support sometimes. Sometimes I look in the mirror.
Your nipples?
Sometimes I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, like I could be a A.5 cup right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's okay. I mean, what is the workout, like these, right? That would
flies.
Okay.
So I think that if you are fat, and I'm not saying I'm fat, but I actually looked this up, where if you stay the same body fat, but you just do flies or you're doing bench and you gain muscle underneath, you're just like pressing out your boobs more.
Oh.
So you might actually look
pecs,
fatter.
Yeah, the pecs. I know some men that are super buff. They've got like pec boobs.
Yeah. Because it's like you also look at female bodybuilders who, when they do pec flies, their boobs don't go away, but it's like their boobs are on a shelf. It's like they have a square shelf and their boobs are on top of the pecs. Wow. Yeah. So it actually is. It is pretty wild what the human body can do. But yeah, all that is going back to support and how you can support the podcast and show us some love. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Before we started the episode, I was giving Zach a little rundown on Love is Blind because you've not watched any Love is Blind.
Zero.
And I don't know how that's possible. I've watched every episode. I just watched the finale that came out with the newest season. And one thing that I was telling you about was the whole Megan Fox lookalike situation. And then I was like, what would your answer be if I'm in the pod, I'm like, Zach, what's your celebrity lookalike?
You're going to have to describe the pod. So you mean like they're in pods? Because I want to get into the mindset. Okay. I've literally never seen the show.
Okay,
I've seen that 15-second preview on Netflix, and that's it. Like when you scroll past the show.
Yeah.
Never seen anything else.
Yeah, so so far it's been very hetero because they claim that I understand why it's hetero because they separate the guys and the girls. The guys have not seen the girls have not seen the guys. And I guess they're in like different quarters. And then they kind of go on essentially not very speed dating.
Okay.
Where they go into the pods. So
is it all straight relationships?
For this show, yes, because they need to come up with a workaround. Because right now they have all the men living together for the time being and all the girls living together. Yeah. If it's
I was
it
gonna say
wouldn't fully work.
I was gonna say that's a dating show hack if you're gay but you're on a straight show, because then you're like, I'm just gonna bang
Exactly.
everyone in my house,
Yeah.
and not tell them I'm gay.
There has been some spin-offs, like Perfect Match and The Ultimatum. And The Ultimatum, they did do a queer one, and it was my favorite ever because it was all lesbians and they thems, and it was just a disaster in the best way. But
And
anyways,
you're just all in the same house. It's just a fuck fest the entire time.
that was well, so they don't stay in the same house, but so they stay kind of together as they're dating. And the pods, it's essentially just a room where there's a wall that like separates them. So imagine me and you sitting here. This is way closer because the pod is actually like an office-sized room. You're not like in a little bubble, a bubble pod.
I was picturing like a float tank that you just stay in for the entire time.
Yeah, no. So you're in a room.
Pod. Okay.
Yeah, and there's a couch, and it's pretty cozy. Yeah. And there's just a wall. You kind of talk through the wall. So I guess imagine, I've never seen it, but I'm imagining that there's no ceiling separating them, so they can hear each other perfectly fine.
Okay, so they're not talking through a microphone or anything. It's just
I don't
the wall.
See it. I'm pretty sure they're just talking through the wall, and there's probably no
Could you punch
ceiling.
through the wall easily if you wanted to? Is it a brick wall? Like, could I just all of a sudden gotcha, bitch?
I don't know the construction of the wall. It doesn't. It's not brick. I can assure you of that. But it looks like a screen, maybe, because I've seen different.
Can you see silhouettes? That is my. Can you see shape or size or anything? Okay.
It's like a digital. Imagine maybe like Times Square screen, like a digital screen, and it's usually just like a color or something like bland on there.
So pods, digital screen.
Yeah, and the whole premise is like, is love is blind? Can you fall in love just off getting to know somebody without seeing them? And just having conversations. So throughout, I don't know how long they actually date. Maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month. I have no clue. It's not too long though.
How many hours a day are they spending in the
a
pods?
while. I mean, they will have like, as the dates progress, I'm sure in the beginning they're not that long because they're kind of just getting to know people. But as they kind of connect with one or two of the people that they have met along the way, the dates get longer. So sometimes they can go like for 2 hours. They're in there like just getting to know each other, sharing all their secrets.
Just getting to know the potential Megan Fox.
Well, yeah. So the whole point of the show is to get to know someone's personality, really connect with their personality. And then if I say I chose you, I would propose to you. I would have to propose, get down on one knee.
Does the guy have to propose, or can either one?
Either one.
Okay.
It's usually the guy, because this is a hetero show, and got to stick by the heteronormatives.
That's the way it is.
But it doesn't have to be. I could propose to you, get down on one knee, but you wouldn't see that. I would have to tell you that I'm on one knee.
Okay.
And then if you accepted my proposal, then they would set it up. I don't think it's right after, but it's shortly after. They do the whole thing where it's like you're behind the door and then the doors slide open and then you see each other. And that's when me, the viewer, I'm like zoned in, zooming in to be like, what is their real thoughts when they see one another?
So you were asking me, what would I say if you told me that your friends say you look like Megan Fox?
Okay, well, I would hope you'd say, no, the fuck you don't, because I definitely don't look like Megan Fox.
No, well, yeah, the first thing I would say is, and we were talking about it a little bit before the pod too, is like, okay, you worded that weirdly. You're saying that people say you look like Megan Fox.
Well, she was saying that.
Do you say you look like Megan Fox?
Rewind. So one of the contestants, Jimmy, well, part of what I think, it should not be allowed to ask that question. If the premise is, but maybe
what is your celeb look like?
Because the whole point is for you to not know what they look like until you lay your eyes on them. Okay. Until after the proposal.
Do you have any electronics, phones, laptop, anything outside world where you could possibly do some Instagram
snooping? I don't think they're supposed to. No. Okay. I think they're just like in this house with nothing.
Yeah.
So Jimmy asked Chelsea, who was the girl he was feeling in the pods, one of two, but that's a different story, and was like, okay, I guess he wanted to try and get a vibe of what she looked like, even though that's not the point. He asked if she had ever been told that she has a celebrity lookalike. And she said, people tell me that I look like Megan Fox.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that was her admitting that she doesn't feel she looks like Megan Fox, but other people tell her that.
Okay.
However, that did put the image in Jimmy's head that
Of Megan
he was
Fox.
getting Megan Fox.
And I would ask pre or post surgery.
Yes.
Because
like
she's had a lot of work done.
Transformers Megan Fox or Machine Gun Kelly Megan
Yeah.
Fox.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf Transformers Megan Fox.
That was peak.
Or Mark Wahlberg Transformers Megan Fox, whenever that came out.
Right. So then I was just curious, what would you say if I'm like, okay, Zach, who's your celebrity lookalike? Who do people tell you?
People say that I look like Chris Hemsworth. If you said Megan Fox, I would say Chris Hemsworth. I'd be like, two people can play this game, bitch.
That's not bad though. I mean,
I legitimately, I would say,
like, have you ever been told?
so I've had people, the guy that played the Northman, is it Alexander Skarsgård? I know there's like four Skarsgård brothers. You can tell me too when you look up.
Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah, like a less jacked version of
He's
that
really
dude.
tall too. So
He's probably taller than me. I imagine he's like 6'3".
Laughing. I'm looking at pictures of the Northmen.
I mean, he's absolutely
He's so ripped in this.
that. But I've been told Alexander Skarsgård probably a less jacked. Like the facial features are similar
All right.
in that
Okay.
respect. I've also gotten. What have I got? I feel like I don't get that many celebrity lookalikes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I was mistaken for. Oh, I'm an idiot. When I was in France a few years ago with my girlfriend, 3 teenage girls came up to me, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's dad. We were just sitting out to lunch, and they said, "Excuse me, have you been in any movies?"
Wow.
And I
Ego
said,
boosted.
and I sat back real hard with a drink. I was like, just sipping on my beer. I was like, what movie do you think I was in? And they said, Mamma Mia 2.
Mamma Mia 2.
And they said, are you in Mamma Mia 2? And I said, no, I was not. But I'm going to take a look at the guy to see if it was a compliment. And he was a pretty good looking guy.
Who?
The blonde guy in Mamma Mia 2.
I only see a bunch of blonde ladies.
Mamma Mia 2.
Meryl Streep.
Type in Mamma Mia 2 blonde guy.
Okay. Blonde guy. Josh Dillon.
I guess so, yeah.
Oh. Okay.
That's who I was. The only legitimate celebrity, like someone actually thought I could have been that guy on vacation, which I also like because they're like, oh, are you this guy but out of shape now because you're not filming? And I was like, yeah, I guess I could see the resemblance.
Yeah,
a
I
little
can
bit.
see with his hair because his hair in the movie is about the length of your hair now.
And I also had, this is in high school, but I had a shorter buzz cut, and a family came up to me in the Jones Beach Theater parking lot, which is a huge concert venue in Long Island, and said, can we take a picture of you? You look exactly like our favorite soccer player. And I don't know what team this guy was even on, but I was also drunk. This is like the first 3
Look
months
at
I started
you.
drinking, and I was like, yeah, sure. So there's somewhere out there, there's a Long Island family that has a picture with me that's telling other people they got a photo of some guy on like Manchester United.
Yeah, that is. It's probably framed in their house.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's so impressed.
That's funny.
So yeah, those are the only two I've
Okay.
actually gotten.
Yeah.
You're tough though.
I don't get a lot of celebrity lookalikes, but I have been told that I have a similar face as King Princess, who is a singer.
King Princess. Does she
She's-
sing the song 1950?
That's correct.
Okay.
That we have a similar face.
I love that I got that, by the way.
Yeah, look at you with lesbian culture.
You do have.
We have like literally the same face.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I am.
I'm trying to block out her hair.
Yeah, because we obviously are not.
It is similar. Turn
I
like this
know.
a little bit. Other way,
Other way?
because that's the photo.
Now I'm stressed.
Yeah. It's pretty similar.
We have the same lips and like eyebrows and eyes.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when I first heard it, my ex-girlfriend actually told me that. She like randomly, because her and I are still cool, and King Princess was just kind of became a thing a few years ago.
So is she a lesbian icon?
She is a lesbian. I feel weird calling her an icon because she's younger than me,
Yeah.
and she's also just like she is the Macy's heiress.
Okay.
So she's the heiress to Macy's.
Wait, her dad is Mr. Macy or grandfather?
Her grandparents.
That I feel like everyone in
She
Hollywood
claims she's not getting any funds from that, but that's a lie. Like her one of her, I think her grandparents also like died on the Titanic. They were the couple that were like in the bed, like holding hands. There's a literal park sculpture in Manhattan of
Jesus.
them.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's got some sort of connections behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You're going to find out I'm the heir of Sears or something 3 years into the podcast.
They went
You're like,
bankrupt.
why wouldn't exactly? I'm like, that's why I couldn't put more into advertising because I used to be hot shit and now we lost all our money.
Yeah.
But can you explain, and I know this is a little bit of an extended intro, but hopefully this is interesting. But I genuinely want to know what makes a lesbian icon, because I've listened. I, as you guys know by this point, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy podcasts. There's 2 or 3 podcasts I listen to that have either lesbian or gay or a combination of co-hosts, and they talk about lesbian icons, and I'm like, what what about that? Like Jafar from Aladdin is like a gay icon. Like what? Like what? How are they deciding?
I think
It's so
we
confusing.
each individually decide who we think is a lesbian icon or a gay icon. Like
I'll look up a list while you're thinking.
you look up a list, because I do think it's a personal decision. However, I would say that a lot of us would say the same answers. I can't speak for gay men, so I don't know. But for lesbians, there's a bunch. I mean...
So, King Princess is 7 on this list out of 30.
Okay.
A lot of these people I don't like. Jodie Foster.
Lesbian icon.
Is she a lesbian though?
Yes.
I didn't even know that. But so she just seems like a normal.
But she's Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
She's just an icon and a lesbian.
Who looks great, by the way.
She
At
looks
the Oscars,
phenomenal.
She does
and
not
her
look.
wife is beautiful too.
Yeah.
And so absolutely, I would say she's a lesbian icon.
There were other ones that were more obscure that were like animated characters.
Okay. Well, that is, I don't go down that wormhole of the animations.
Or maybe I was thinking of, like the daughter from The Simpsons. I'm blanking out on her name.
Lisa?
Lisa, yes. She's
That
number
is so
5
funny.
on the list of
I'll
lesbian
take
icons.
it. I didn't think about that, but you know what? I'll take it.
Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Lesbian icon.
Lesbian. See, animated characters can be lesbian icons.
I picture, but we don't really.
Your eyes lit up when I said Velma.
But you need to look her up in the Scooby-Doo 1 and 2 movies. She was banging in those movies.
I agree. She's attractive.
She was
I love
so attractive. And because Velma is a lesbian.
Yeah.
They didn't write that in the cartoon, but the thing is if you have all the traits, if you look like a lesbian, you talk like a lesbian, and you act like a lesbian, you might be a lesbian.
Yeah. Helga from Hey Arnold. She's
What-
pretty
why-
high on the list.
Why are we on animation?
Angelica from Rugrats. Sandy
Stop.
from SpongeBob SquarePants. Number
Sandy
7.
definitely was a lesbian.
Lesbian icon.
Absolutely. I am separating myself from the animations, but like all of the L word actors, even if they're not, they don't even have to be lesbians to necessarily be a lesbian icon.
Yeah.
Because not all of the L word actors are lesbians, but they played lesbians. Most of them are.
Okay.
But some aren't. Like the main actor, Jennifer Beals, that is Mother. That is a lesbian icon because she played a lesbian with her whole chest.
Okay.
And did such a good job.
So lesbian icons, a lot of them are lesbians. Like they're
Most.
actually lesbian. So I think that's why I was confused, because I heard gay guys on a podcast talking about gay icons versus lesbian icons.
Yeah.
And a lot of the gay, like list of gay icons, Judy Garland, Barbara Streisand, Diana, Princess of Wales, Madonna.
Okay, love that.
Freddie Mercury is the only gay guy in the top 10 on this
Yeah.
list. And then everyone else is just a queen.
Well, it's all about the culture, Zach.
Yeah.
Like whether it be
It's
their
more of a
fashion or the vibe.
It's a vibe. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at. Because if I was like, my athletic icon is, or if my, I'm just trying to think, like if I said my baseball icon was Ray Lewis, you'd be like, well, how does he inspire you to play baseball if he's not a baseball player? But it's more like I play with the vibe of Ray Lewis. I'm inspired by his energy. Not that
you got
he
that
is,
dog.
Not that he is my icon. Because
that's true. He did kind of murder somebody.
Kind of. And if you're good enough, it stays kind of.
Yeah.
If you're not good,
And
you get a conviction.
Are now in like the Hall of Fame
Yeah.
and Baltimore legend.
Yeah, exactly. If you're as good as Ray Lewis, it stays kind of. And if you're as smart as Ray Lewis and not as dumb as O.J. Simpson, it stays kind of.
That's true.
Because O.J. Simpson, all he had to do was go away. And he chose to rob his own memorabilia and go back to prison.
Yeah.
So,
And just drive down the highway in a white Ford Bronco on a police chase.
yeah. So Cher,
Totally
Britney
not
Spears,
suspicious. Yes, Cher.
The Babadook is a gay, the most unexpected and most meme gay icon of all time, the Babadook.
I love that.
So it's more of a vibe.
It's more of a vibe.
Then that,
Yes.
that clears things up.
I'm glad we could enlighten you.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Of course.
It's good to be enlightened by the culture. I feel like that counts more for knowledge these days than textbooks. Like if you don't know the culture, then you don't know anything.
That's right.
Yeah.
You need to be, it's like being street smart rather than book smart.
Yeah. If I tried to tell you about the year that a battle happened in World War II, you'd be like, shut the fuck up and tell me about gay icons. Because that's all.
They're probably, well, hey, wait, what's his
was
name?
Napoleon a gay icon?
I was going to say Napoleon, but no,
Unless they
Alexander.
overlap.
Wait, so all the Greeks, gay icons. Achilles.
Yeah.
Like all of them.
Well, weren't they all banging each other? Because back in the day.
I mean, just look at the sculptures and that alone.
Back in the day, it was like a rite of passage for an up and coming Greek warrior to bang their mentor. Like that was just out in the open. Yeah.
Good for them. I know Alexander the Great, gay icon.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot in history.
I'm pretty sure it was Greeks, maybe Romans too, who they'd actually bang each other before battle to get a bond with their brothers. I'm not joking. I heard this in a history podcast, so you know it's true. Podcast can't lie. Unless it's us.
Okay. I'll look into that
Yeah.
more. I
Yeah.
hope that's true. Let off a little steam. I
Yeah.
know you inside and out now.
Yeah. Well, speaking of history,
All right.
I want to start with a piece of what will become podcast history one day. And I mentioned before we got into the intro to the podcast is that there was a murder involving an icon of mine that is in podcasting. Can you guess who that might be?
Okay. So the person that is the suspect of the murder?
Just involved not involved in the actual murder, but he had this person on as a guest right before the murder.
Was this Joe Rogan?
Yup.
Okay.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan had on this guy, and I do know this story very vaguely.
Yeah, so I'm going to enlighten you, just like you enlightened me on the gay icons.
Good.
I'm going to enlighten you
ready.
on podcast murder. So Sheldon Johnson, a Joe Rogan podcast guest and criminal justice reform advocate, was arrested after body parts were found in his freezer. And this is coming to you from the great people at USA Today. So a man who became a public advocate for criminal justice reform after being released from prison last year was arrested on a murder charge Thursday after police said they found a person's body parts inside a New York City home. Sheldon Johnson, 48, was jailed without bond Friday morning on charges including second-degree murder. What would make first degree murder. This is only second degree murder. New York City Departments of Online Corrections show second degree murder. The victim's relationship with Johnson was not immediately known, but the New York Police Department identified the victim as 44-year-old Colin Small. Police said officers responded to Small's Bronx home to conduct a welfare check on Tuesday night and found a headless torso in the apartment. According to CBS New York, police said Johnson shot Small and dismembered his body. A search of Johnson's Harlem apartment revealed the remainder of the body.
Harlem.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Not my neighborhood.
This was last week.
Oh.
Yeah. Now we're even, because you told me about the subway shooting that happened 2 stops away, and I had no idea. And now I'm telling you about a Harlem dismemberment.
Crime is all around us.
It's just New York at this point. A search of Johnson's Harlem apartment revealed the remainder of the body, the arms, legs, and head inside a freezer, the outlet reported.
Naturally. I mean, you have to put him in the freezer.
100%. Johnson shouted as he was led out of the police station after his arrest, "I'm innocent. I'm innocent."
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
I doubt that.
I think he's guilty as fuck.
And just to note, the difference between first and second degree murder is with first, it's premeditated. You've thought about it, you planned it, and then you did it. With second, it's just kind of random. You just randomly wanted to murder this person.
I'm going to go into more detail in a little bit that will probably get that charge changed to first degree, because there was a lot of planning, it seems like, that went into the murder. But first, I will say it is great to finally see some representation in the black community for dismembering bodies, because Sheldon Johnson is a black guy, and I feel like all the dismember serial killers are white. Like you have
most serial killers are white.
Yeah. So it's like equal representation. Like, yes, this is a terrible thing. It's a horrific thing. And also, you know, welcome to the party. It's 2024. Yeah. This is a sign of things to come.
Diversity is happening.
Diversity in, in inclusion in every way, 360 degrees, whether it's employment or voting or murder. Dismembering murder specifically, it's the silver lining in just a terrible, just absolutely horrific event that this guy was like, hey, let's get some representation in this bitch.
Yeah. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Before I go on a rant about like dismembering bodies.
So I will listen to that rant because I'm very curious what is bouncing around your head right now. But before we get into that, this is from a reporter named Colin Rugg on Twitter. And he said, according to the victim's neighbors, they could hear him, who is Smalls, the victim, they could hear Smalls pleading with Johnson before 2 shots rang out. Police found in the apartment a human torso in a blue bin and a head in the freezer. Surveillance footage shows Johnson arriving at the apartment with the blue bin. He showed up multiple times in different outfits. Yeah.
I saw the wig.
You saw the blonde wig?
Yeah, there was one. This whole situation isn't funny, but yeah, there was one video of him entering the apartment building looking like a full-grown man with a fake blonde wig on.
Blonde wig, yeah. I do love, because like there was planning that went into this dismemberment, but 80% of it went into outfit changes. He didn't do anything to disable the cameras. He wasn't like, maybe I should use different colored bins every time I'm walking into the apartment.
Maybe I should get a more realistic wig.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, no, I want to look good. I want to feel good. I need my outfits to be on point for this murder. And that's what I'm going to put my effort into. Not getting away with it, but just styling on these hoes while I'm walking in with someone's head.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that even the act of dismembering a body is pretty insane.
Yeah.
It's one thing to just kill somebody, but then to dismember them, to me, that's where I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
There's something just not adding up in their brain.
Yeah.
Like, not all those wires are connected in the right place in there.
No. Like, if you killed someone in a crime of passion and you're just like, oh, fuck, like, what did I do? And then you got to take care of it and, like, all this stuff. And, you know, it's a dead body. That's still terrible. But then when you plan to kill someone and they're dead and you're like, well, now I'm going to do some body geometry with a buzzsaw and just pack their contents into a blue bin. Like, not even...
Was the blue bin, the way you were kind of mentioning the scene,
Yeah.
it makes me think that he watched Dahmer on Netflix.
Was it a blue bin
Well,
in Dahmer?
Well, I'm just wondering if it was kind of one of the like rainwater collection bins.
Yeah.
Because they'll put like they will fill that up with whatever acid or whatever the hell will eat up
Yeah.
the flesh and everything and deteriorate the body. So they'll typically, like in Dahmer, Jeffrey, and obviously in real life, but I can remember it from the TV show, he would dismember the body, a lot of times the head and whatever parts
Yeah.
he felt interested in would go in a freezer. But yeah, the torso and things like that, like he would just put in one of those big tubs so it could just slowly
Yeah.
deteriorate to nothing.
He could have been inspired by Dahmer. Maybe Dahmer was his gay icon.
Yeah, look at you.
Maybe he saw Dahmer and just got the complete wrong message from the Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
He's like, that's my vibe. Like, maybe this is his coming out party. He's like, by the way, I'm also gay.
He joins the club. Gay icon.
Yeah.
You got the message, but you went the wrong way with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is weird. I mean, it's more than weird, but like, it's almost, it's like your body, like sometimes when you eat way past the point of being full and you just don't know when to stop, which is also
Pretty much me on a regular basis.
yeah, and I was also an apt metaphor because we're talking about Dahmer and dismemberment. No evidence this guy is a cannibal. Maybe they just caught him too early.
Yeah.
But it's like when you're eating and you know you're full, you're like, I'm doing a bad thing, but I'm doing it because it brings me pleasure. Like my pleasure centers are overriding utility. Once you kill someone, like there's no utility in just cutting them up, but then also just keeping them in your apartment. Like this guy was not getting rid of them. He was like, I'm gonna just like section.
Do we know that, or did
off.
he just not get to that part yet? Because some of these murders dismember the body and then they'll take pieces of the body and like scatter them around, you know?
That's true. I guess that's also an option, is he was freezing them so it didn't smell.
Yes.
And then he'll take out a foot on
Yeah.
Tuesday and then he'll take out a hand on Wednesday.
That way the body's kind of all scattered across the East Coast or wherever.
It's true. If he put more thought into it, besides the
The
dresses
wig.
and the wigs that he bought, he might have had a better shot to get further into the process.
So, okay. So yeah, I don't want to steal your story at all. So this happens but he was already in prison for something. Then he got out, right? And then murdered someone.
He was in prison for 25 years.
Okay.
For something else. It was attempted murder. I think he was an accomplice for some sort of attempted murder charge. Got in jail when he was really young, 25 years. When he commits the murder, he had been out for 9 months.
Yes.
And went on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, the whole 9 months he was... And while he was in prison, wasn't it about like prison reform?
He was working for a group in Queens
Yeah.
that helps people that are convicted of crimes without the money to get a lawyer get lawyers. And he was an advocate for prison reform. So basically getting out of prison and changing your life around. So I guess like technically he did change his life around. He just went full 360 instead of 180.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to turn all the way back to prison.
Yes.
And just chop a dude's head off.
Yeah.
Someone wasn't like, do you think maybe you should like stop
there.
like, okay, you have the knife, like just point him towards a woodworking table. Like someone needed to just like put him on another track. Like, no, not there, here, and you'll stay out of prison.
Yeah. And so when he was on the Joe Rogan podcast, was that what he was talking about his experience in prison? And
do you want to hear? I pulled off a 2-minute clip
please,
of where.
please.
So I sent it to myself.
That is so insane. That is always so interesting to me. I mean, it's not a surprise that people who are in prison are extremely likely to go back to prison.
Yeah.
We know that. So.
But not all of them campaign for prison reform.
And then not all of them are then murdering and dismembering people. It's usually just like they were in gang violence. They go back to the gang. They go back, drugs, whatever it is. Not usually like this.
So this is a 2-minute clip of Sheldon that I pulled off of the recent Rogan episode.
Because I was the type of person who would say, "You doing that for what reason? Nah, you can't do that. The rule says that you can't do this, you can't do this. This is what the rules say." And
the rules of the prison or the rules of the streets?
Of the gang. The rules of the street. Yeah. So I was a rule guy, and they just, it was to their advantage to get me out of the way. So when I decided to take a step back, they were like, yes. And it was to my advantage as well. And this was in 2005.
So there was no resistance?
None. And at that time, this is where a lot of the what they call set tripping began. The organization began to implode on itself.
The gang organization.
The gang organization. There was a lot of infighting.
This is the gang he used to be in.
Sets against sets, and I
Used
was
to be
just
a
always
blood.
against that. And it was time for me to go, and I didn't care whatever the consequences was. I was fortunate that there weren't any consequences, but I didn't care what the consequences was. I just walked away.
And then that begins your journey.
This begins my journey. I got into school. I got my GED.
And I started cutting people's heads
I got
off.
involved in correspondence courses. I started interacting with guys who were teaching ART, aggression replacement training, and I started to begin to understand.
What was his aggression replacement training? Just replacing people's heads on different heads and just
how these concepts work, what positive visualization is, deep breathing, how to remove yourself, conflict resolution, all of these ideas of change began to take place with me. Substance abuse. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped smoking cigarettes.
You needed to smoke weed.
Yeah,
desperately.
that's the
You
problem.
needed a fat blunt to calm the fuck down.
That's the problem. He stopped doing drugs, and his body, his criminal psychology was like, dude, we need something, or else we're gonna go back to that life. And he stopped smoking weed, and he started.
If you have aggressive
smoking people's
tendencies,
heads.
I encourage you to smoke weed and calm down.
There's like
30 cigarettes
10 more
a day.
seconds to this.
I'm literally having chest pains from smoking cigarettes. And I realized that I wanted to live. And the only way that I was going to be able to live and walk out of prison was to remove myself from.
And remove people's heads from their bodies.
Yo, fuck this guy. I'm looking at pictures of him, and then after hearing his cadence and his speech, there's nothing I hate more than a fucking narcissist. I can tell he thinks this guy sucks. Obviously, he murdered someone, and that's terrible. So now he can go rot in prison and think about how he will never get out and be able to be reformed again. But yeah, fuck this guy. I just don't like the way that he speaks. I didn't need to hear that to know he was a terrible person, obviously, but I just don't like people at all, even for a lesser situation. So not for murder and dismembering people, but people that think that they are this. The way he's speaking on Joe Rogan, I'm trying to figure out how to like verbalize it, but you can tell he's a bit egotistical.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell that he's like, I learned this and that, and I'm reformed, and he thinks
I showed these young ones on the streets.
Yes, he's this big thought leader, and I can just see it in his face, literally his face. And the look in his eyes, I can just see that he thinks, yeah, I'm a thought leader. I'm this expert now on like prison reform. I'm on the Joe Rogan podcast. So now his head is massive. He thinks he's super cool. And he could potentially get away with something like that, like murdering someone.
He's like those big preachers that do these huge sermons on pray the gay away, and then they get caught in a homosexual relationship like 2 months later. And it's like, you're overcompensating with your speech for some deep part of you that wants to come out, but you're like just talking to suppress it.
No, exactly. I don't know. And
not that being gay is like murdering. That was just I'm just saying, like, when people are talking one way and then they do the exact opposite.
No, I totally understood what you meant, but I maybe it's just as hitting close to home literally for me, because this happened in Harlem and I live in Harlem, and I see men like this man all the time in Harlem. I mean, Harlem is a very gospel part of the city. It's extremely black. There's a lot of preaching, literally. And most of it is good preaching. I mean, I'm not religious, but...
Are you sure it wasn't just this guy, but in different dresses?
This is what I'm thinking.
He's just changing outfits every day. And you're like, I see this guy everywhere.
Exactly. Kind of what I'm saying is like, I don't... This guy just triggered me in so many ways. I'm like... He's just taking what I feel so many black men try to do honestly and earnestly and just totally shitting all over it, because so many black men and men of color do go to prison for potentially some bullshit or just small crimes, and they spend all of this part of their life in there that's been taken from them. Then they get out and they do try to do prison reform, or they do try to foster relationships with young teens or whatever that are in gang violence and try to like make better of the situation. And that's what this phony guy was trying to do. Meanwhile, he's a psychopathic, narcissistic murderer. Yeah. So, yeah.
I pulled out another one of the quotes he said on the podcast. It wasn't in that clip, but he said, and I thought this was also one of those things where it's like you're saying something and you're like, you think about this for months or years before you actually do it, which is the murder and the dismemberment. So he was
about it the whole time.
He was 100. Yeah, he had to have contemplated it. I don't think he just snapped one day and put a dude's head in his freezer. No. But he said, Sheldon Johnson on Jerry, he said, I said to myself, I've been doing bad for so long. I'm going to try to do something good. If all else fails, I could always go back to doing something bad. But let me try to do something good. Let me give it a shot. And like, he was in jail for 25 years. And after 9 months, he was like, that's long enough. I gave it a shot.
Yeah.
Let me take someone's spine out of their body and just put him in a ice box.
Yeah.
That was enough for me. 9 months of trying.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It seems like he's not super old. So if he was in prison for a long time, I would imagine he went into prison originally as a pretty young guy.
I would imagine probably he looks maybe in his mid 40s. So maybe like early 20s, he went to prison, something like that. So
I don't know. Yeah, no excuses. I definitely think there are plenty of prisoners that actually do go to prison and change their lives.
Yeah. A lot of them. So this guy, it's even worse because the guy that he came on Rogan with, I think his name is Josh Dubin. He has brought other reformed prisoners, ex-cons, onto the Joe Rogan podcast that actually advocate for people. And now because this one guy is just such an extreme case, it makes you question all the other guys that this guy has worked with. Not that they're all bad, but it puts that question in the back of your mind, like anyone in this organization, are they just going to snap one day and like just start murdering people?
So at the time of the Joe Rogan podcast, he had not yet murdered this person, or had he?
It doesn't say. I don't know if that information has come out yet with how long the bodies have been in the apartment, but based on the article, it seems like it was after the podcast.
Yeah.
Maybe like
I
3
would
weeks to a month
think
after the
so.
podcast. Yeah. I don't think he was doing it
Wait.
at the same time.
He was just, wait a sec.
February 1st, he was on Joe Rogan.
That's not a long time
This
ago.
story came out last week. And then the security cameras and everything, I think that was a few days before, maybe a week before the story came out.
Wow.
So I'm just guessing this guy killed this dude in late February. February 1st, he was on Joe Rogan. And then 4 weeks later, killed this dude.
That is insane. At the date that we're recording this, it's March 15th.
Yeah.
February 1st was not long ago at all.
Yeah.
That he was just on this podcast.
Yeah.
Wow. So that is insane to me. He's on Joe Rogan podcast, one of the biggest podcasts
Yeah.
of all time.
But it's under Breaking Takes, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah. Joe Rogan wishes.
Duh.
He wishes come at us.
Duh. Okay. I could shave my head and, look
Get
like,
some tattoos.
Yeah.
That'd be
I could
hilarious.
do that too.
You should do that for Halloween next year. I'll be a gay icon and you be Joe Rogan.
Okay. Sounds good. But I'm also reading here that apparently this guy's son is also in jail for killing someone. And so there's kind
Runs
of
in
a
the
theory.
family.
That's what I'm saying. There's kind of a theory of that violence is hereditary in a way. I mean,
I believe it. Athletics is hereditary. You see a lot of people that have athletic sons and daughters that end up going on to be professionals.
It's true.
So, if you're a 5-star murderer, it makes sense your son might be at least a 2 or 3-star homicidal maniac.
wow.
If this guy was smart, he would try to blame it on Joe Rogan because of the proximity to the murder. He'd be like, he should say that he got so high, so fucked up on Joe Rogan that it put him into a psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just woke up with a guy's body in his apartment room and was like,
Wow.
I don't know what happened. I was just smoking so much weed on Rogan. He gave me this alpha brain stuff. And all of a sudden, I was covered in blood. That would be if I was this guy's lawyer, I would try to make a defense around Joe Rogan. Not that you should, but if you needed some way to get out of this.
I need to unpack more of what you said. So you said that he was quoted saying, I've been doing bad for so long. I'm going to try and do something good.
I'm going to try and do something good. If all else fails, I could always go back to doing something bad.
If you need to try not to murder,
Yeah.
you probably just shouldn't be getting out of prison.
Yeah. I love how his first like release from the good life, he just went straight to decapitation. Like he didn't rob a liquor store.
Right?
Like if
That's
you're like,
boring,
I'm sick
Zach.
of being good, you steal a Snickers bar. And then, this guy
Right?
has a little bit of a higher tolerance because he was already in jail for attempted murder, but like maybe do a bank robbery or something, or kidnap someone first. Don't go right to the, the holy grail of serial killing, which is like the Dahmer level status. You work your way up.
Okay, wait. I just saw something else. His son, who is in jail for murder, guess how old his son was when he murdered someone?
How old his son was when he murdered someone?
Like how old the son was when the son murdered someone.
How old the son was
Yes.
when he murdered someone?
The son. Yes, because
20
there's too much
20
murder
22
in this
22.
family. Replace
2? 2?
12.
No.
His son is also in jail at 12 years old for murder.
I mean,
There is mental illness in that family.
if you look at it from a pure skill standpoint, that's like LeBron's son making it to the NBA at 12 years old. His son joined the murder league before he was a teenager. That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Perhaps legendary in the murder world.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that part of the world, and I don't want to know it, but he
No.
could be.
I don't want to go to those games.
He's going to get drafted to murder more people.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to be the number one prospect.
The gangs are fighting over that dude in prison.
Yeah.
He joined the league at 12. There's so much potential there.
Yeah. And you're
Yeah.
right. Back to the main guy, the dad, Sheldon Johnson. His 9 months It took 9 months. That is less time than some people's New Year's resolutions to go to the gym.
Yeah.
and
That's
then
a lot
he
less
just
time.
he
People
just
give up
murdered
3
someone.
weeks. Yeah. I think if you're a guy and you're just trying to live a normal life for 9 months and you can't and you murder someone, does that mean if you're a pregnant woman, you should get to murder someone within 9 months? Am I just doing total psycho math there?
I think so.
If this guy is claiming that like life was too hard without pregnancy, like he's just a normal dude and he's
Yeah.
like, you know what, I'm entitled to a murder. Does that mean that if not in a moral world, but in like an equal world, a woman who's pregnant is entitled to multiple murders because it's harder than living as an unpregnant guy? If you're just like equating the difficulties of life.
I didn't fully follow along, but I will say
You shouldn't have. That means you're sick in the head if you did.
Me and a lot of the listeners right now are like, we did not
Yeah.
catch a lot of that, but
No,
I
that was a bad comparison.
will say that women should be entitled to murder many of people.
Yeah. I think, you should get some passes for sure.
Yes. If this man can go on the Joe Rogan podcast, we should be allowed to murder at least one person.
Yeah. I do like how a lot of these guys, or it's mainly the two that I know that have dismembered people, and not know personally, but like known from Joe Rogan and Netflix. They always have the nerdiest names, like Sheldon and Jeffrey.
Okay, but Sheldon and Jeffrey sound like people that will dismember a body. They sound like the type that know how.
I mean, it is the nerdiest way to kill someone, is like killing them, but then being like, I'm going to geometrically like fit them perfectly into this box and like put their body like it is the nerdiest way. So it does make sense.
I don't even want to be grotesque. I don't want to gross our listeners out, but
no, please, they can handle it. They've been with us for a while.
Think about, obviously human beings are animals as well, and our joints are functioning pretty similarly to other animals. And so, like a butcher would know how and where, and a scientist as well, like, because they do dissections all the time. Like our girlfriends would probably have a better idea how to dismember a body than we would.
Oh, yeah.
Because they actually work with carcasses.
Oh, yeah. Neuroscientists would, like our girlfriends would take us apart like...
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Just like they're playing a game of Operation.
Absolutely.
It would just be so quick and so subtle, and
wouldn't feel a thing.
They just go on. They do, they'd hit all of the crucial joint flexion points where you just kind of like fold up. They probably need one box. Like that's how good they are.
Wow. Yeah.
Just fold this up into one box.
This is what I'm saying. This is like a stupid point, but I'm just saying, I don't think Sheldon, maybe he did. He had a lot of time in prison. And these days, I mean, prisoners are on TikTok. I mean, they have more freedom than they should sometimes in prison.
Oh, yeah. I've seen their prison cooking shows.
Phones.
Martha Stewart's like cooking with prisoners from prison. Like, it's crazy.
Because they're smuggling in phones and then they're on TikTok. They sometimes, with good behavior, they do get some computer time and whatever else. So perhaps he could have been studying the art of just human anatomy and whatnot. But I just don't think Sheldon probably did a good job dismembering this body. And that, for some reason, that pisses me off.
Yeah, and that's the lesson from this portion of the episode, is that get a PhD before you dismember someone. That is the way to ensure that you get away with it, because you're going to have all the proper knowledge and you won't make the same mistakes as Sheldon.
I'd be so mad if I got dismembered. I hate the idea,
especially if you were alive while it was happening.
Well, I'm sure I would die at some point in that before the process is over.
Yeah,
something tells me
I'd
lose
to feel
some blood.
the emotion of madness, you'd have to be alive for part of it.
Yeah, well, my spirit would be pissed.
Yeah,
I would sit there and watch it in Ghost World and be fucking mad.
Just like, come on. Really?
It just makes me mad. It makes me sad for the person because I just think, it's one thing to murder someone and that is terrible and that is difficult for, I'm sure, that person's family to get past. But I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of an empath, but I really
You
hate,
are.
I just
and that's
hate,
good. I feel like you have more empathy than me.
I think I probably
For
do.
sure.
But it just disturbs me. It would make me so sick to even think about someone that I loved having their body like totally disrespected
Yeah.
in that way.
Yeah.
So
I also feel empathy too. I just feel like sometimes my brain gets running on tangents where I'm like,
you disassociate.
oh, that'll be fun.
sometimes.
That would be funny if that happened in a dismemberment murder case. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's actual. That's like
That's a
someone's
person.
son in a box.
Yeah. Well, okay. We get in trouble with that a lot.
Yeah. But you
lot.
guys like the clips. We keep putting them out on TikTok.
But we
and
do
they-
get
yeah.
comments on there that are like, "That's a heartless take.
Yeah.
That was awful."
We did get a positive comment today.
Oh my God, we did.
Someone commented on a YouTube clip. Thank you, whoever that was. They said, what was it? It was about.
I don't read the comments because I fear the comments.
It was a clip we just put out. I forget exactly which one, but the comment was like, "You guys are chill and funny, and that's why the show is gonna blow up." And it was so
Did
nice
Sheldon
that I was
Johnson write that?
like, "Yeah," I was like, "It was so nice." Is this?
It almost scared you.
Yeah, I was like, "Is this?" Sarcastic because you can't tell.
Yeah.
If it's I'm like, is this person just sitting behind like, you guys are so chill and funny fucking pieces of shit, this show's gonna blow up. Like, I don't know if they wrote it like that, but if we'll take it as
I hope
genuine.
it's nice. People, okay, the comments. I mean, first of all,
We get way more likes and comments, we should say. So if you
Yes.
guys do like the show, leave more
yeah,
positive
please
comments
comment
so we have a
because
better ratio.
We all know that negative people are more loud
Yeah.
than nice people. And we definitely get a lot. I don't read a lot of the comments, but every now and then I feel weak and I'm curious and I will read them. I don't read them because I'm scared. I don't want to read negative things about myself. And I'm preparing for when I'm rich and famous and the
Yeah.
whole world knows who I am. I can't possibly Google myself, so I'm already preparing.
Yeah.
I don't want to read them, but I did read one the other day, and we were talking about the TSA situation when
Yeah.
a poor old man got.
Yes.
And somebody I
was about to look that up.
Go back and listen to the episode, people. But there was a comment on that clip where we were talking about this old man kind of getting mildly harassed by TSA and wasting
Yeah.
everyone's time, which is ridiculous. And we were being very sarcastic about things.
Yeah.
But if you don't understand my sarcasm, then I'm sorry, go read a book. But you need to get quicker. Got to be quicker than
Yeah.
that. But yeah, sorry that it felt heartless, but I actually am sorry to that old man. And you just need to stop being so boring. I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you.
The joke was we were saying like it's obviously wrong to racially profile someone.
Yes.
But if you're gonna do it, don't do it in rush hour traffic. Don't do it when there's an hour and a half
Because
line
then you're
at TSA.
pissing everybody off.
Exactly,
Even
yeah.
the people that want you to racially profile that man.
And I don't know how recently you checked, but I actually
I think it
saw
was like over the weekend
So-
or something. I don't know when, or just a few days ago when you posted it.
So someone said this is such a weird and heartless take.
I'll give you it's weird.
And then someone said under that, for real, but kind of funny, with like a crying face. And so that's like the positive comments we're talking about. If you think it's funny, leave something.
A lot
along
of
those
our
lines.
takes may be considered weird and heartless, but I assure you, I do have a heart and I do care. I just disassociate a lot of the time, and you definitely do.
Yeah, and just know that in my dissociated state, it's really fun, and it's just the way we are, and that's why the world is the world and humans are humans, and sometimes those humans get put in boxes and it's terrible and it's awful, but what would we be if we just told you the facts? We gotta spin it somehow to make life a good time.
What do you want us to just read out headlines?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The podcast would be over in 10 minutes.
100%. The last thing I will say about the Sheldon Johnson case, because this was another recording that I was going to play, but it was just like a 15-minute section, way too long.
Okay.
He goes on a rant about how you can't trust DNA evidence. Sheldon Johnson does. And
Okay.
so it's like, is that also going to be his defense?
Absolutely.
Where he's like, look, I know my hair, blood, skin, and sweat are all over this guy's body. But can you trust the DNA? Can you really?
Even if not, we can also just trust, well, he was in your freezer.
Yeah.
In your home.
Yeah. On camera.
And
in dresses.
you were on camera. Like,
That-
we don't even need the DNA at this point.
Yeah, on camera. He uses the same box and the same garbage bags, the same brand in every single photo shot. It's like if you're gonna
reuse, recycle.
Yeah, you're gonna make me. That's the one time you shouldn't be thinking about the environment, as when you're murdering someone and you have to make it look like a different person uses different bags. So if he
Yeah.
was less, he's like all of us. He's a conundrum. He's a murderer, but he's eco-conscious, and you can't be everything.
People
you
are
know?
complicated.
People are.
I will say
Complicated.
that.
Should I be his lawyer? should I
You-
read it?
Honestly, yes, because I wouldn't be surprised if this bozo tries to be his
Yeah.
own lawyer,
I was like,
because he seems like that type of guy.
Yeah, but Your Honor, people are complicated. I know what you're seeing looks horrific,
Yes.
but life sucks sometimes. And, 9 months is a long time to try to be a good person.
The judge is going to be like, it's time for him to go back, and you.
Yeah.
Him and
Yeah,
you.
yeah, you've lost your license.
To go to prison
Yeah.
and try and get reformed
Yeah, the
again.
judge is like, this is the first time I'm ever doing this, but I'm not going to let you continue, and just
Yeah.
bangs the gavel and sends us both to prison.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is what we know about Sheldon Johnson for now, and we'll see what else transpires.
Okay. Well, yeah, guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break,
Yeah, let's do it.
and we'll be right back.
We'll be right back, folks. So what are you looking at this week?
It's so funny that we were talking about this murder non-mystery that you had. I'm also thinking there's a murder mystery on the Royals' hands.
Has the Kate Middleton story progressed?
Kate Middleton is missing. And we need to sound the fucking alarm. Okay, Kate Middleton is missing.
She's missing. She's missing. Camera work.
Exactly. So we talked a little bit about on our last podcast episode. We talked about the Royals, and it kind of bled into a little bit about Kate Middleton. But since then, it just is getting crazier and crazier. And for the royal family, who is basically equivalent to like the president here, I mean, they should have a better PR team
Yeah.
than what they have, because it's just gotten so insane. So I'm going to take you through a little journey
Yes.
of this Kate
Yes.
Middleton mystery.
Yeah, take me on this path.
So for those of you who are totally just living under a rock, or you just don't care, which is also valid, Kate Middleton, Princess Kate, is Prince William's wife.
Yes.
Prince William is the next in line for the throne at this point in time.
Not to be confused with K+8.
Correct.
Okay.
She has a throne of her own.
Yes, made of babies.
Exactly. That's our princess.
Yes.
So yeah, Princess Kate Middleton, wife of Prince William. They are due to be the next king and queen of England after Prince or King Charles now and Camilla. So Kate Middleton has not been seen since Christmas.
And is this seen by paparazzi?
Yeah, just seen
or
in public.
Just like an in-person photo, nothing since Christmas.
Yes. There have been 2 alleged signs of life since Christmas Day.
Stunt double.
Exactly. This is
We're
where
on the
you
same
and I,
page, yeah.
we're like, you know what? There's something going on there. So she, around Christmas, the royals put out a message being like, Princess Kate is undergoing a surgery, and she's just, not going to be around for a little bit. Which, first of all, is already kind of strange because, I mean, I feel for her. I had surgery right
Yeah.
around Christmas, and I do know it can be a shit time for
Yeah.
a couple months. However, I was out in the public as soon as possible.
I saw your paparazzi photos within 48 hours of
Yeah,
you
you
recovering
saw
from
me.
surgery. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And also, I feel like every celebrity always has that drugged out photo waking up from surgery. Like, I'm all good.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, so much morphine.
Or at least just even, I mean, I will say the royals are even different than just celebrities. The way that they work with the press,
Yeah.
and they're not just, you're not going to just catch them going to the grocery store. Whereas you might catch, Beyonce going to the grocery store after surgery.
I hope so. That would be sick.
I would love to bump into her at Whole Foods as well.
Picking up some oranges and I see a hand
Hey!
reach for the same time. I'm like,
I would
Queen
just
Bee?
start doing the Texas Hold'em.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kate Middleton apparently went under surgery. We do not know what kind of surgery. We do not know what for, which is also really strange because kind of a big deal that the future queen is going to be going under a very serious surgery if she's going to be gone from the public for this long.
It's also a weird way to phrase it too. Like the princess is going to be gone for a little bit.
I don't know
how
that,
long is a little bit.
I'm sure the message was better than what I said, but that was the premise.
Yeah, with a PR spin on it. Yeah.
Of course, and the royal crest stamped on it. So since then, nobody really freaked out at first. We were like, oh, we wish her well, blah, blah, blah. But you would suspect within a month you would see her.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if not, then we're starting to think something may have gone wrong.
Yeah.
So the people of England, actually, I don't know how the people of England feel, but I know here in America, this is hot tea for us. We love gossiping about the royals because why not?
Yeah, 100%.
And
it's a sport.
The tea, that was punny. That was a pun. Okay, just delete that. Stop.
No, we'll edit in some laughter there. We'll do that for all my jokes too. We'll just start using a laugh track for the podcast.
Well, we should have a button, a laughing button, but only we find it funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so since then, it's been a while now. It's March, so it's been 3 months. And
holy shit.
Yeah, that's a long time. And I had a series. This is why I feel that I'm personally a good fit for this story, because I had surgery right before Christmas too. And it was a serious surgery. It's not the most serious. So if she did have like a kidney transplant or something with her stomach, that is more serious than what I had. However, I would say within 2 months, you should be at least taking Zoom calls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to go out, take a walk, get fresh air. That's good for recovery. Go outside.
Yes. So it's pretty weird that she's not been seen. And so the public has started to freak out over the last few weeks. Everybody's like, where is she? This is getting out of hand. We've not seen or heard from her. So after the public starts freaking out, we get these 2 alleged signs of life. And I'm saying alleged because I do not believe them.
Okay.
So the first one was a grainy photo. And this is the one we touched on last episode.
Okay.
Where she's allegedly in the car with her mom. And it looked like her mom was driving because they drive on the other side. So that's why I think it was her mom driving. And this photo of Kate in the passenger seat, and she has sunglasses on, and you can only see her from like the shoulders up, and it looks like the photo was taken from about 2 continents away. It is so grainy that I don't know how zoomed in you could possibly be to get that grainy of a photo in 2024.
I'm just trying to look up the photo to jog my memory.
Let's see.
Kate Middleton grainy photo or car photo. Do you think that would come up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kate Middleton.
And-
yeah, I see it. Kate Middleton spotted on drive with mother.
Yes.
It is very grainy.
It's super grainy.
It looks like it was taken with a potato.
Exactly. So my theory, first of all, is that could very easily be Katie Holmes. Stunt doubling as Kate Middleton.
If you put Katie Holmes, and look, is it linked to Scientology? Who knows? But that could easily be Katie Holmes, the ex-wife of Tom Cruise, for sure. If you replace Katie Holmes with Kate Middleton in the title, I wouldn't be like, that's not Katie Holmes.
Exactly.
I'd be like, that looks like it could be any brunette
Mm-hmm.
white actress.
And just sidebar on that, would that not be the craziest gig for Katie Holmes to have on the side? Just being Princess Kate Middleton's stunt double.
Oh my God. You'd have to accept that.
And nobody would even really know. It's almost an underground job because the public isn't supposed to know that you're her stunt double.
I mean, you did say last episode that my naked body you imagine would look like Prince William's naked body. So if I got a call,
That sounds very out of context.
go back and listen to it for some more
You're like,
context.
don't, I'm flattering you.
Exactly. So I'm just gonna say if the UK Secret Service or the Royal Family Secret Service called me and said, "Hey, we can't tell you the situation, but we need you to pretend to be Prince William for 3 months," I'd be like,
Hell
fucking
yeah.
sign me up.
Because it's going to make you bank.
Yeah.
They're paying. That's a big time role.
And I just get to hang out in a castle for 18 hours a day. And then for 30 minutes, they're like, we need you to go outside and take a grainy photo.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd just be like, all right, cool. And then I'd go back to just drinking gin and tonics with Camilla and King Charles.
Right. So that may or may not be Katie Holmes in that photo, but that is the first sign of life that they wanted us to see because that was absolutely staged.
Yeah.
And that's why it could also be Katie Holmes because it was staged.
Yeah. Even the woman driving,
That is
like
her mom.
she looks like something's up. She looks like there's a guy in the back seat that you can't see with a gun to the back of her head saying, "Keep driving, bitch."
She looks like she's just like, let me get this head-on shot that we definitely planned to happen at this
Yeah.
very moment.
Yeah. Because if you look at any other shot with the princess or the queen in the car, it's all from the side. It's all from like the side view window.
No, yeah, this is head-on for a reason.
Yeah.
So that is the first one. But people are like, that's not good enough because that photo is taken from 3 miles away.
Yeah.
It's super grainy. It looks like I'm watching a TV show from the 60s.
Yeah.
Like we cannot verify her being alive.
Yeah. No.
She could be dead and propped up in that
Yeah, it
chair
could be a
for all I
weekend.
know.
It could be a weekend at Bernie situation. Someone's just holding her head
Exactly.
against the cushion.
So we do not know. Now it even gets weirder after that. So the people we're not happy with that photo. We're concerned still.
Yeah.
We're gonna need more. So then on Mother's Day, which no fear, our American listeners, that has not passed, but in the UK they celebrate Mother's Day on a different day.
Yeah.
So the UK Mother's Day was just the other weekend.
Gotcha.
And Kate, from her Instagram, the princess of the Dutch, I don't even know. I have no idea. I know Meghan's the Sussex. I have no idea where Kate is.
Yeah.
But she posted on Instagram a photo, a Mother's Day photo with her and her 3 children. And at first, we're like, oh, how cute.
Yeah.
But if you look at the photo, so yeah, since you're over there searching,
Yeah.
and people at home, you can Google if you haven't seen it. Just Google
yeah.
Kate Middleton Instagram, like Mother's Day post.
I just Googled Kate Middleton family photo and it came up.
Yes, so you'll see her sitting in a chair with her 3 kids around her.
Yeah.
So at first, at a quick glance, you're like, okay, what a cute photo, right?
It actually does look extremely, like something about it looks weird.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what, but it's like both the kids were smiling at the same time, like all 3 of them. And like she has, like her smile's almost
It's
too
a
perfect.
little strange.
Yeah. It looks like Get Outy.
Yeah,
little bit.
I think that's valid.
Yeah.
So then if you zoom into the photo,
Okay.
which I don't know if you're able to zoom in on the photo.
Yeah,
you
I
have
can a
below.
little bit. Yeah.
So if you zoom in on the photo, there's a lot of signs that this photograph has been altered,
Okay.
particularly around Princess Charlotte, who is the daughter, the little girl. If you look towards where Kate's hand is on Princess Charlotte, right in that region, and you got to get really close. But you can see that the little girl's sweater is not aligned. There's some clear photoshopping or some sort of altering going on over there.
Is it Princess Charlotte's left sleeve? So like looking at it, it's the right?
Yeah, it would be her arm on the far. So it's right in that little corner where her shirt sleeve meets her wrist. And then there's kind of like her skirt and Kate's hand.
Yeah, you can
right there. There's something weird going on in that area where it's, if you zoom in really close, you can see that her sweater, it's like there's a...
It looks like the the cuff is supposed to go out further.
Yeah, there's something going on.
And there's like some stray red strands.
Yes. And there was another, let me see if I can pull up so there's also another, that's the most obvious sign to me. There was another issue. Oh, okay. So if you look in the center of the photo where Kate she has like a zipper jacket blazer that isn't closed. The zipper goes down about 3 or 4 inches and then it just disappears.
Yeah.
There's no
I see
zipper.
That. It just disappears. Yeah.
So these are all signs that this photo this is not a real photo.
Yeah.
It's been altered. And so somebody on Twitter, and I'm so sorry that I didn't look up the creator of this theory, but they also had a theory, and I'm going to pull this up for you too. Kate Middleton, Vogue. If you look at her Vogue cover and Google Kate Middleton Vogue cover, and you take her face in her Vogue cover shoot, and then you look at her face in the Mother's Day photo, that is the same exact photo, just altered. So in the Vogue cover, she's wearing a hat and, it's just her smiling in a field.
Yeah.
It's her same face in that photo put into this family picture on Mother's Day.
So you think that they got another woman to pose with her kids and then they just put her fucking face over it?
I have no idea.
Like, if you're going to crop someone's entire face,
that's
that's not the
clue.
same person in that photo.
I don't know.
Do you have a theory?
It's hard to say. I have a lot of theories, so we'll get to that. I don't have a theory specifically on that Mother's Day photo, if that is another woman that they just put the face on, or if they just photoshopped them all into a picture. I have no clue.
I'm thinking did she get facial surgery, like plastic surgery on her face, and it's still fucked up? So that's why they replace it?
Perhaps.
That's like the best case scenario.
Exactly. The best case scenario is that Kate Middleton got a BBL and we're going to see that ass very soon.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Yeah. But then why take out her face? That's the thing. Like, if she's...
Because this picture is not...
There's a lot of
That picture
things.
was not... What we can confirm is that this picture that she posted for Mother's Day is not a recent photo. And if it was, then that was not Kate sitting in that chair.
Did the royal family or Kate's account release an excuse about the Photoshop?
Yes. So news outlets, of course, when they post the Mother's Day thing, the English news, they'll post it or whatever.
Yeah.
So after internet sleuths started to be like, we think that photo's doctored.
Yeah.
AP News, who's a very accredited news source, sent out a kill statement for that picture to basically take that picture that's been doctored off, because they posted it like it was a real thing from Princess Kate, and then it came out that has been doctored. And so AP News sounded the alarm. And can you imagine, that's like a 4-alarm fire at the AP News headquarters. That's a Category 5 hurricane. Princess Kate's photo has been doctored.
Yeah.
And because you would think the source is supposed to be the royals, and clearly it's been doctored, and so now it's got to be killed. So that's how we know. So then it's verified that this is a fake photo and it's been doctored.
Yeah.
So that's insane, for one.
So did the royal family tell AP News that it had been doctored, or
No.
how did they?
It's
AP
just
News,
proven from just zooming in. You can see.
AP News looked at it and was like, "This is a fake photo."
Exactly.
Do you think someone played a prank on, just like because of what's been going on with Kate? Someone sent in this photo.
Well, no, because
somehow
Kate posted it on her Instagram.
On her, oh yeah,
so
that's right.
it is, she's the source.
Yeah.
She herself is the source of this photo.
Okay.
So then we're all like, this photo's fake. You can't get that past us. AP News sends out a kill statement, says, take down this photo.
Yeah.
It's fake. We can't be publishing fake stuff.
Yeah.
We're an accredited news source. So then Kate goes on Instagram again and posts the statement saying, or she's on Twitter. I don't know what social media is, but she says, and you can get the exact statement, but the synopsis of what she says is that, like most people in today's world, I experiment with Photoshop and whoopsie daisies, basically. So she took the fall for the photo.
Gotcha.
That she's claiming, yes, that's a real photo, but yes, I doctored it a little bit.
So
but that's not true. This photo's entirely fake. And she might have doctored it, but it's just a fake photo.
Yeah, she did a fucking face swap.
Yeah.
That's more than doctoring. That's a different like you're taking out the foundation of the photo, which is the face, and replacing it with a past face of yours still. But that's weird.
It's super weird. So, and honestly, this is pretty rookie photoshopping skills here. So, I mean, maybe Princess Kate has not been missing. Maybe she went to graphic design school, and that's where she's been. And she was excited to show us some of what she's learned.
Yeah.
She's like, look, guys, look at my new Adobe creative skills.
Or, I mean, there are a surprising number of shitty interns at really big companies. And because you see these type of fuck ups all the time with like offensive headlines on CNN or Fox, NBC, and like a headline that's just completely wrong gets passed with like a racial slur, and it just like runs across the news, and you're like, how does that happen? And it's usually just like a shitty intern. So it could also be they asked an intern to doctor a photo real quick, and they're like, I've never used Photoshop in my life.
Why would Princess Kate take the fall herself for it? How strange is that?
We don't know she took the fall. We just know it came from her account that she took the fall.
Yes,
Maybe
but she signed off on the photo, and she signed off on the statement that she was the one who plays around with Photoshop and did it herself.
But how do you know if she's signing off on the statement?
We don't know.
If she's dead or
That's
missing.
we don't know. And there's a lot of weird things. That's what we're scared. We're scared for her. Where is she? We don't know.
So you said you have a couple theories on where she could be.
Well,
the BBL is one.
Yeah, the BBL is one.
Doesn't explain the face swap though. That's weird. The face swap has me like, maybe BBL and face surgery at the same time, like a plastic, just like a full body plastic surgery.
Yeah.
Could be one.
Yes. So my theory just dives deeper into the royals. So for a while now, there have been rumors of Prince William cheating on Kate with this other lady, Lady Rose Hanbury.
Lady Rose
who
Hanbury.
looks like a knockoff version of Kate, which would really piss me off if I was Kate.
Oh yeah, she's definitely
It's like
not.
it's the same fucking situation with King Charles and Diana and Camilla. It's like Diana was a certified baddie.
Oh yeah,
Gorgeous.
She's got a bird chin, Rose Hanbury.
I didn't say it.
I said it. I said it. Come for me. But in terms of Kate Middleton blows her away.
Exactly. Same thing with Diana and Camilla. Diana, certified baddie. Kate, gorgeous. And then their mans, they're out here playing around with these uggos. I mean, I simply can't fathom it. So my theory is that things are ramping up in the royals. There's a lot of pressure right now because, you know, the queen passed away. King Charles is now the king. He just got diagnosed with cancer. He's also old as shit anyways. So, you know, he could live longer, but he could also die at any time.
And yeah, tomorrow could happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that means that Kate and Will they are knocking on the door to be king and queen. Like it could happen any day at this point.
They're probably praying really hard every night, or at least William is. Hopefully, Kate's also alive and praying.
I mean, here's the thing: Kate Middleton, and I touched on this last episode too. Kate Middleton has set out to be queen for a very long time.
She's very queen-esque.
Absolutely.
She knows what she's doing.
And her mom, Kris Jenner Superior, got her to date Prince William and literally sought out like dating Prince William.
From like middle school or something, right?
I think like high school, college, something like that. I mean, they met at a pretty young age.
She had a mastermind mom.
Yes, this has been in the plan. Kate wants to be queen. Like this is happening. Yeah. However, Kate is not about to get embarrassed like this. No. Not with Lady Rose Hanbury. No. That hoe.
Those sneaky cunts.
Just nasty.
Yeah.
So my theory is that Will has been stepping out. Now that things are ramping up, Kate's like, you better cut it the fuck out.
And stepping down too, based on her looks.
Yeah.
Not just stepping out and down.
Right? They're just bored. I don't even know. I mean, I don't want to offend our British listeners, but I also just have my own opinions about the appearance of a lot of British people.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It could improve, for sure.
It could.
Hey, look, I say this coming from the fattest country in the world.
Oh, yeah. We're obese.
And you guys are ugly, and I'll just say that right to the
camera. And it's not everybody, because Princess Diana was gorgeous, and Kate Middleton's a beautiful woman too.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I think 80% of the population there could use some work. And then their issue is that then they get too much work. Because when I was in Heathrow Airport over the summer, every woman I passed had lip injections and extensions, and it was really alarming.
I don't think it's attractive, but I love the trashy British.
Yeah, it's huge.
Clubbing
That's
look.
kind of what they look like.
Yeah. It's like everyone, like the short skirts, lip fillers, way too much makeup. Yeah. It's a vibe.
We digress, though, because Lady Rose Hanbury looks all natural. Mm-hmm. She's just not as... I don't want to compare, but come on. We have to compare. She's
uglier than Kate Middleton.
Yes, she's not Kate Middleton is what I will say. So I think he's been stepping out with this lady, and Kate is just like, she's going mastermind on it. I think her mom probably planned this too. The mastermind plan is basically like, I'm going to fucking disappear. I'm going to take the kids and I'm going to disappear on your ass. Because we've not even seen the children. We've not seen the kids either.
Yeah, because if her face is photoshopped, this could be a Photoshop too.
I think the whole thing. I think she straight up scooped up her kids and we're like, I'm bouncing until you get rid of that hoe. I want her deleted. I want her gone. I want her shipped across the Atlantic. I do not want her anywhere around because we're not playing games. I'm about to be queen of this nation.
Yeah. No, I agree. She's been working her whole life towards the queendom. Mm-hmm. You don't let a hoe sacrifice all the work you've been doing, but you do set an example. You do send a message. So she's not saying I'm done with you. She's just saying I'm going to go on vacation. I'm going to spend this family's money, and I'm going to just take my kids and go away somewhere. And you just wipe your hands of this hoe.
You're going to have to deal with this mess.
Yeah.
On your own. You're going to have to realize your life sucks without me, and that I can bring the heat of the press if you do not clean up this situation.
Yeah.
That's my theory. So I think she's okay. I think she's fine. Maybe there was a surgery. If there was, I still think she's okay.
Yeah. I do love how when you get to a certain point of power and wealth, that the actual cheating doesn't really bother you as much as like the power dynamic. Yeah, it's like I don't give a shit that you were inside another woman. The fact that you
You're gonna embarrass
disrespected me
me, like-
this close to the
Yeah.
throne,
Yes.
bitch,
Absolutely.
I will end you.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's more about like cheating at that level becomes a vacation and not a divorce. You're like, you take care of this. I'm going to fucking like the country home or, wherever the fuck she's going to go
Yeah.
on royal vacation. And she's like, when I get back, this bitch better be gone, dead, both somewhere in a prison.
I don't give a fuck.
Locked
I
up
don't
with-
want to see her again.
Yeah, send her to Sheldon's house.
I don't know.
Yeah. I just don't want to see her. Put her head in a box. That's it. I don't care
Exactly.
how you do it.
Yeah, so that's kind of my more in-depth theory, but just my general theory is that there's definitely some marriage issues going on with Will and Kate.
Yeah.
And the time is of the essence for him to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
And get ready because it's not a good look. And then it's even more funny to me because they dogged on Harry and Meghan for so long, basically, and then Harry is just like literally the prince, the cutest little prince ever. He's like, I'm out of this. I don't want to deal with this drama anymore. This drama's sickening. It killed my mom. I'm over it. I'm going to America. And now it's just like, it's just funny because I feel like the British media always shits on the wrong person. They kind of tried to hate on Diana. What happened? We all love Princess Diana.
The paparazzi
Then they try to
killed
hate on
her.
Prince Harry. And, there's more mixed feelings there, but I personally am a fan of Prince Harry. And now it's like, you want us to love King Charles and Prince William, who definitely cheat on their wives with cheating on a 10 with a 5?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Do you think it could be the other way around? Do you think Kate Middleton could have been stepping out on William,
Wow.
and then William sent her away and was like, bitch, we're fucking done. But the PR for the royal family was like, we can't announce this until it's final. Like a divorce and the royal family is something, no one wants to
I
see
wouldn't
that.
blame her, honestly,
But
because when
do you think it could be the other way around? That he sent her away and was like, I'm done with you. We'll take care of
No.
this.
I don't
in the
think so.
future?
I don't think so because it's not good for his image to have her disappear.
True.
You want to look like a united front.
I do have a deeper theory.
Okay. Why'd you say like, now I'm scared?
It does involve the recent happenings of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Because I did see that Ghislaine Maxwell's one of the stories that I was thinking about doing first was her appealing her conviction and like possibly winning the appeal, and like Ghislaine Maxwell will get out of jail, and it's like, what is she gonna say when she's out in the open about all the Jeffrey Epstein shit? So I think it's possible, and this is like my deepest, darkest theory in the deepest recesses of the mind, is Kate Middleton knew something was up with Prince Andrew. Obviously, like Prince Andrew was photographed on the island. He was massaging girls, all this stuff, caught red-handed, essentially disbarred from the royal family. I think Kate might have known some things about Prince Andrew that she was feeling guilty about sitting on. And maybe she was thinking about stepping up around the time when Ghislaine Maxwell was appealing her conviction, which would maybe add some things to the case, maybe get Ghislaine Maxwell off, like things about Jeffrey Epstein that maybe the world doesn't know. And the royal family can't have that. And maybe she knew some things about other royals. I'm
knows
not
a
going to
lot.
say who, but maybe Prince Andrew is not the only one. That's not a definitive thing. That's just a complete
Definitely not.
speculation that, if one prince was dipping his fingers in Epstein Island, it's possible other people in the family were too. So maybe Kate was feeling some guilt on her conscience, was staying quiet the whole time, mentioned to the king or maybe Prince William, like, we have to say something. And then they were kind of like pretending to hear her, like kind of like that rich nod where your eyes just go dark. But in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, this person has to go away now because they're going to say something. And we haven't heard from Kate. I don't know if she's dead. I don't know if she's
We don't know.
she's gone. Like
That's
if they
the
sent her
main
away,
point
if she's
here.
locked up somewhere. But that's my like just like the depths of society theory of knowing the deepest, darkest parts of people is like maybe she was thinking about speaking up about the Epstein scandal.
Mm-hmm.
And someone in the royal family basically put her head on the chopping block and was like, I'm sorry, William, but she has to go. We can't have this getting out.
It's a valid theory, and I think that brings a greater point of the fact that we're all here still wondering where the fuck she is.
Yeah.
So the theories can go on and on and on because where is she? That's just like the bottom line. Where is she? Where is she? You're telling me she couldn't film a video by now?
Yeah.
That means I just feel like she's choosing not to. Either that or yes, she's like actually dead or in a coma or something.
The fact that her face was fucking transplanted
She's
from a past
definitely
photo.
choosing not to. I just think she has to be choosing not to show herself, really.
Yeah.
She's opting. That's why I think she has more control of this situation than Will or the rest of them.
I think a surgery or some sort of long-term illness is more likely. Mm-hmm. But
then I want to know what it is.
But my mind just goes to like Epstein has already definitive ties to the royal family through Prince Andrew. He's been disbarred from the royal family essentially. My mind goes to like, what if other people like Kate overheard conversations, or maybe they even saw stuff taking place in the castle or like the palace, whatever, and they were just sitting on it for a very long time, and eventually they're like, I have to come out about this. And
nah.
Jeffrey,
I don't
a lot
know.
of people, weird things happen when people all of a sudden get the courage to speak up against Jeffrey Epstein. Cases get settled, people fall out of windows like Putin.
Yeah, some,
Maybe
people
Kate. Yeah, they're going to announce that
mysteriously
Kate
die.
fell out of a 9th floor hospital window, just tripped.
Yeah.
Maybe Putin's involved. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean,
Could be anything.
it could be anything. And that's the weird part.
Yeah.
So maybe, who knows when we'll actually see her.
I'm excited to keep up with this case.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's getting weirder and weirder as time goes on.
If it gets like 6 months without a verified photo,
What the fuck?
that's like, I wonder what the record is for a member of the immediate royal family to not be seen in public or any sort of photo.
I'm not sure. And I'm also curious. I'm curious what the British press thinks, because obviously we're here in the States and we're getting American news and we're just all freaking out because we love gossip and we love pointing the finger and being like, what the fuck's going on over there? But what are they saying? Are they concerned, or are they just all trying to ignore it?
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't surprise me either. If they're like, oh, she's fine, no big deal. Like, is she? Because we haven't seen or heard from her in months.
Yeah. No, we
Starting to get concerned.
definitely have not. I'm just trying to see if anyone has some wild conspiracy theories about Kate, but it all just kind of looks like it's this one says it's a royal mess. Conspiracy theories run wild. Anything could be possible. So
Yeah. Send us your theories, people.
Yeah.
I want to hear your theories. Of
Yeah.
Where is Kate Middleton? Is she
Yes.
with you? I mean, is she hanging out with you?
Yeah.
Do you know where
are you Kate? Is Kate Middleton listening to Breaking Things right now?
Do you know where the princesses go when
Yeah.
they go away? Where are they?
Yeah. If you have a theory of your own, if you have something, no matter how wild it is, send us your take. DM us at Breaking Takes on Instagram, TikTok, wherever. And if you do, we'll read it on the next episode. And if it comes true, then you'll be on record of having the correct theory.
And then you'll be rich, because I know so many people that like predicted when Trump would be president or whatever. So if you predict the right theory,
Financial crisis.
Absolutely.
Same thing.
we're here to make you a successful person.
Oh yeah, we'll have to take 50% because we have the DMs.
It's business.
Yeah, it's just a business decision. But you know, the more premium subscriptions we have, the less percentage we'll have to take from your theories. So head to breakingtakes.supercast.com, sign up for bonus episodes, rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, helps get the word out. We appear higher in searches the more ratings and comments we have. Comment on our Instagram and TikTok posts. We definitely need
Use
some
your
help.
words.
We definitely need some help on Instagram for sure. TikTok, we've had clips doing really
blowing
well
up
recently. Leave comments on TikTok because that helps for sure, not just the likes. And above all, thank you for listening and watching, for tuning in, because that is the number one
It's
thing.
our 30th episode.
Happy 30.
Yeah, and you just had a 30th
I just
birthday.
had a 30th birthday. I'm old
Wow.
as fuck. So does that mean this
30.
podcast is old as fuck now? But it's still new
No,
to you
it's
if
a
you're
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
30 episodes is nothing. That's like a
It's
2-year-old.
It's an infant.
Yeah.
So we've got a long way to go. We're going to be here for you guys for a
Yes.
long time.
And the Kate Conspiracy is also in its infancy. So
Yeah.
let's see where it goes.
Exactly.
If it's this times 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 12 months from now, you know, we're living in a different world. A world where Kate Middleton is gone and Breaking Takes is the number one podcast.
She's gone. She's with a man that has a full head of hair.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
See ya.
Peace.